Find out which part of the sentence has error. The number of that part is your answer if there is no error. So this is error spotting related question. Okay, your answer is D. No country and long endure. Okay, so here is the error. Error is in A. Okay, if its foundation were not laid deep in the material prosperity. Okay, now the question that has been asked is, the sentence seems to be wrong if a sentence has if there should be some extension to that condition. Why is it missing here? Okay, now Sony, we will be discussing the usage of if, because I do not think it is very clear. If has many, the condition if condition statement has many uses. Okay, and we will be seeing each use one by one and how they are formed. Okay, so it is not necessary that if has to have an extension. Okay, and the extension should be a question or an imaginary situation or something like that. Let's see how many conditions do we have for if conditions. Okay, now condition tenses are used to speculate. Okay, so they are used to speculate what? They are used to speculate about what could happen, or what might have happened, or what we wish to happen. Okay, so what could have happened, what might happen, and what we wish would have happened. Okay, so these are the three cases where we use if statements. Now, so there are 5 main ways of constructing condition sentences. Okay, so we have 5 ways of constructing if sentences. Okay, so let's look at the 5 ways that we have. First type is zero way. Okay, this speaks about general truth. All right, and the verb that we use is, or the tense that we use is simple present for this. Okay, and the main clause is also simple present. I will give you examples of each. Then there is type 1. For type 1, what it talks about? It talks about a possible condition and its possible result. Okay, and the clause verb that we use, clause verb tense that we use for this one is again simple present. Okay, and the main clause verb tense that we use is usually simple future. Okay, now there is type 2. Okay, so we have type 0, which speaks about general truth, and there are 2 clauses in a statement, the verb tense clause and the if clause. The verb tense that we use for that is simple present, and the main clause verb tense we use simple present for general truth. Second is a possible condition and its possible result. We use simple present for that, and the main clause verb tense that we use is simple future. Type 2, on the other hand, is a hypothetical situation, a hypothetical condition. Hypothetical condition and its probable result. Okay, So we are talking about the usage of if. I hope I do not have to repeat this again. Please understand how many types of uses are there. It talks about hypothetical, condition and its probable result. We use simple past for this. And present condition we use the main clause verb tense. Present condition or present continuous conditional. Okay. So first what we will be doing is we will be seeing type 0, type 1 and type 2, and then we will be moving forward to type 3 and mixed type. Okay, so there are how many types now? We have 5 types of usage of the conditional statement which has if. Okay, so let's look at the few of the statements that we have with 0, that is the general truth. How do we frame sentences with 0? Okay, I will just okay, so let's look at type 0. It is remember that it is used when the time is being referred, for which the time is being referred is now or always. Okay, the situation in real and possible. Okay, something that is real and is possible. Okay, so this is where we use if. So if you, and generally this if can be in type 0, it can often be replaced by the word when. Okay, so it is replaceable by when. If you heat ice, what happens when if you heat ice, it melts. Okay, so simple tense, simple present tense. Okay, so and it can also be replaced by when. Another example of this would be if it rains, the grass gets wet. Okay, okay, so what is type 0? If this thing happens, then that thing happens. Okay, that is type 0, and the word if is easily replaceable by the word when. Okay, so I hope type 0 is clear. This is one usage of the word if. Okay, let's go ahead and see the next usage of the word if. Let's do type 1. So what did I tell you? Type 1 speaks about, what does it speak about? It speaks about it is used to refer present or future where the situation is real. Okay, where the situation is real. So this is how we frame the sentence in type 1. If you don't hurry, you will miss the train. Okay, so this is one usage of type 1. Okay, so how is the construction of sentence in type 1? This construction of sentence is if this thing happens, then that thing will happen. Okay, this is type 2. So if it rains today, you will get wet. Okay, that is the another sentence example for construction of type 1. Okay, let's quickly look at the next type, type 2. Okay, when do we use type 2? We use type 2 when we have to talk about, it is used to refer to a time that is now or any time. Okay, and the situation is unreal. Okay, so this one has to do with unreal situation. Both type 0 and type 1 are to do with real situations. This can be imaginary. Okay, so this is how we construct the sentence. If you went to bed earlier, you would not be so tired. Alright, so if you had gone to bed earlier, you wouldn't have been so tired. Okay, another example of this could be, if it rained, you would get wet. Okay, so it is talking about an imaginary situation that is unreal. Okay, something that is probably imagined. Okay, so that is how we use type 2. Let's look at type 3 and the mixed type now. So how do we form this structure, this type 2? If this thing happened, that thing would happen. Okay, but I'm not sure that this thing will happen. Okay, so that is the way type 2 goes. Okay, let's look at type 3. Okay, when do we use type 3? Type 3 is used when the situation is unreal again, and it is a past condition, and it's probable result in the past. So we are completely talking about past and its probable result in the past. So the if clause verb tense that we use here is past perfect, and the main clause verb tense that we use is perfect conditional. Perfect conditional. Okay, and finally we have mixed type. It talks about an unreal past condition and its probable result in the present. In the present. All right, and again we use past perfect over here. The if clause verb tense that we use is past perfect, and the main clause verb tense is present conditional. All right. Yes. So if I were a bird, I would fly high. Yes, that is for the type 2. Okay. Now type 3, let's look at few examples of type 3. I hope type 3 and mixed type is clear to you. Okay, so let's look at few of the examples of type 3 where unreal past condition is used and its probable result in the past. Okay, so that is the difference between mixed type and type 3, that the result is one in the present and one in the past. Alright, so let's look at the example. Of type 3. Okay. So the first example that we would go for is if you had studied harder, you would have passed the exam. Did you get it? Okay, so if you had studied harder, you would have passed the exam. So both the condition is also in the past and the probable result is also in the past. Okay, another example could be if I had accepted the promotion, I would have been working for Milan. Okay, or I would have been working in Milan. Okay, or if it had rained, you would have gotten wet. Okay, so these are both the condition as well as the probable result, both are in the past. So if this would have happened, that would have that thing would have been happening, or that thing would have happened. Okay, if this thing had happened, that thing would have happened. Okay, this is how you frame type 3. And the final type, that is mixed type. Let's see the examples of mixed type. So the final one that we have is mixed type. The example for mixed type would be if we had looked at the map, we wouldn't be lost. Okay, so the result is we are talking about the probable result in the present over here. Okay, another example could be if I had worked harder at school, I would have a better job now. Okay, so that is the example of mixed type. Another example you can take, if you weren't afraid of spiders, you would have picked it up. Okay, you would have picked it up and put it outside. Okay, so if you were not afraid of spider, you would have done this. Okay, so the formation is always in the present. The condition, the probable result is in the present. Okay, for the mixed type. So we have studied all the uses of if, and I do not think there is any more. Please start making as many sentences as possible, and if you still have doubts in the usage of if, let me know. So we have studied type 0, type 1, type 2 and type 3, also mixed type. Okay, so there is no other usage of if. I hope I have clarified your doubt, Sony. These are the uses of if. Okay, so whenever you see the word if, it need not be something that has to have an extension or something is missing over here. It is just that sometimes if has any of these 5 uses that we discussed. Okay.